Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life, health, and transformational coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to help coaches and entrepreneurs amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible, leveraging podcasts and our million-plus audience on the Gnostic TV network. Today, we're chatting with Rick Salmeron, and Rick is a certified financial planner who specializes in helping you grow your wealth so you can grow your life. I love that. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Thanks, Jill. Pleasure being here.
So I'm going to ask you the beginning question that I told you I was going to ask you about.
Okay.
What's the
Uh,
most significant thing, in your opinion, we can do as an individual to make the greatest impact on how the world is going?
Without question, investing time and money in your one thing only, and that's your self-esteem. As an independent financial advisor, a lot of people approach me, Jill, as you can imagine, and they say, "Hey, Rick, where's the best place to put my money these days? In this or that, or what's going to happen, and so on." And always my response to that question comes as a surprise because it is not the XYZ fund or the ABC stock or what have you. It is yourself in the form of your self-esteem. Because I discovered this years ago, your self-esteem drives every decision that you make, every action that you take or that you don't take. It is a silent ghost sitting on my shoulder, whispering sweet nothings in my ear, answering the question. And when it's off, it's usually a no, but those questions are, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? Am I worthy of this? Do these questions sound familiar? Because those questions come into my mind a lot. And I used to answer those questions, no, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not whatever. Yet when I turn my self-esteem around, when I'm scoring a high score, let's say on my self-esteem, my life gets really great. Because when I've got a very high self-esteem, people with a high self-esteem, they care about their future. Therefore, they make decisions based on how they want their future to unfold. So imagine if we had a device that was called a self-esteemometer. All right, kind of like a thermometer that you stick under your tongue to take your temperature. But what if you could take the temperature of your self-esteem and it produced a score? And that score was a 1, which says that my self-estimate of myself is terrible, and 100, I'm like a huge major league Taylor Swift size rock star, or something in between. Wouldn't you agree that a person leading a life with a score of like an 87 is leading a much better life than someone scoring like a 32, right?
I absolutely would agree.
It's a huge fuel. And I recognized this when I began what I call my personal development journey years ago. I'm still working on it. I don't have this mastered by any means, but I'm a lot better at it now. My self-esteem score is much higher today than it was 10 years ago by far. And my life results show. They show. And this shows in your health. This shows in the relationships that you have with people. This shows in your money, in your balance sheet, in your bank account, in your investments. These are all direct reflections of your self-esteem. That's the cool thing about life results. They are sometimes harsh, but they're always fair. They're there to show us what we're doing well at and what we're doing not so well at. So if there's one area that will make the hugest, biggest major league difference in your life for this year and next year and beyond, it's focusing on that self-esteem and doing things that build it to as high a level as possible.
Well, I could not agree more. And I'm just sitting here thinking, there is a barometer, and it's usually your bank account, and not just
Yeah.
like your checking account, but your
Huh.
investments and
Mhm.
the abundance that you feel in your life. And it's not always like money, though money is a good barometer for, what your self-esteem is worth. I don't know that I know of anybody who has really low self-esteem but a really big bank account. And if they do, it's in the and their self-esteem has taken a big hit, their bank account usually starts dwindling. And you can see that with movie stars even.
Yeah. Yeah. This kind of helps explain the phenomenon of people that we see in the news who, like, they won the lottery.
Hmm.
And 5 years later, here comes out a news story. Oh, that person who won the $325 million lottery, now they're bankrupt and now they're broke. How can that be? How could it be possible that someone receives such a large, huge, immense windfall and they find themselves broke soon after that? I don't have the exact direct answer for that, but I'll bet how they feel about themselves have something to do with it. Because for
Yeah.
many of us, it's hard to imagine us having an experience like that. And next thing you know, we have nothing to show for it at all. It's kind of a telling sign. And money isn't everything. There are other aspects of life for sure. However, in my view, and perhaps it's biased because I'm a financial advisor, I do think that it's a direct reflection on some success in life. But I know a lot of people who are great people. They're wonderful personalities. They've got amazing relationships. They may have relationships that most everyone would envy, or they've got health that's incredible and magnificent. It's just like on the money side, it sucks. There's nothing there. So we all have a side of our life that we could work on and better improve. I don't think anyone walks around with a 100 self-esteem all the time. And if they said that they did, I would applaud them. And now I would ask them, okay, what's your next 100? What's the next level that you're going to pursue? Because there is something bigger and better and greater out there. If you want to find it, it's out there for you to pursue.
Yeah, there's always something. And I think that's the adventure in life is
Yeah.
being able to grasp a hold of the next thing that catches your fancy. And really, we're here to have an experience. It's not about grinding your way through this existence. And those
Mhm.
people are pretty miserable because they're not
Yeah.
allowing themselves the opportunity to explore all of these different options out there.
Yes. I know a lot of people who are very, very wealthy individuals. They pursue wealth like it's breathing oxygen.
Mhm.
And at the same time, their health is terrible. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of the family members, what family members they may have. And that on one side, that surface looks really great and really attractive, yet at the same time, the other sides that we may not see, oh, I wouldn't want that for my life at all. So something to be considerate of when you look at someone who's very successful, and there's nothing wrong with being success on some of the angles and sides of life. I admire a lot of people who are in my view, way better off than I am, for example, whatever that means. But at the same time, I also recognize that everyone's got some kind of soft side to them. And as soon as you recognize that you have an area that you feel like you could do better at, that's something worth pursuing for you to make your life more joyful and more harmonious. Then that's a trigger for you to be working yourself, the habits that you incorporate on a daily basis in that direction so that you can be pursuing, reaching, and turning the trajectory of your life from one side to the other so you can grab for that next gold ring that you're looking for.
I when people think of investing, I think they sometimes look at it as it's a something I'm going to do at some other point, or I have to just do my 401k thing, or it's numbers and I'm really bad at math.
Hmm.
And I admit I was part of the I'm really bad at math, math is numbers thing until I realized that really finance and money and bookkeeping and accounting, that's just puzzle solving. I dove right in. I love it. And it to me it's not math, it's just puzzles and it's a game. I enjoy investing and I do all kinds of weird schemes and I'm a closet crypto trader.
I won't say anything.
I have other investments too, but it's like I said, it's a game. It's not about making all this money because you have to have an energy of generosity along with it. You
Hmm.
can't just be a miser. A miser they just don't have a really good
Yeah.
energy in their life, I guess is.
Well, in my view, as you opened our episode, my tagline, grow your wealth and grow your life. In my
Mhm.
view, money money supports a great life. Money by itself is really worthless. We don't take money and put it on the shelf and shine it and admire it from a chair. That doesn't do us any good. It helps us in what I call are the three other areas of our life. One is our health, the second is our relationships, and the third is our contribution or how we show up in the world. I can have a better health if I have a strong financial life. I can have better relationships with my family and my professional relationships if I have a strong financial life. I can contribute to the charities that are near and dear to my heart, those areas that I'm very passionate about, or giving in a generous manner.
Hey all, I'm Jill Hart. We all know that legal matters can be costly and stressful. Finding the right representation and dealing with high retainers and hourly bills adds up fast. But what if I told you there was a way to have legal insurance, just like your health or auto insurance? Well, Legal Shield has leveled that playing field. From just $29.95 a month, you get access to lawyers for personal legal matters, from traffic tickets to real estate issues or even trust matters. Help is just a tap away on your phone. Call or text 435-764-0875 and use the code JillLegal or start your journey to legal protection today.
Far more powerfully if I have a strong financial life. So does money drive everything? That's up for debate. Many people have different takes on that, but in my view, if you have a weak leg of that four-legged stool and that weak leg is money, it's really hard to have the other three percolating at the pace that you would like.
Yeah, they all have to like your stool has to be balanced.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're
has to
just
be
going to
balanced.
wobble all the
Mhm.
time.
It's
And
what
if
I
it's
call the peace of mind square. Those four sides: health,
mm,
relationships, money, and contribution. Those four things. That pretty much covers most areas of anyone's life. And if you can score yourself on a 10 out of a 10 on all four of those sides, you got a pretty good life going. You got a pretty
yeah,
good life. And like we said earlier, I know a lot of people who on the money side, they're blowing it out the water. It's incredible. It's unbelievable. Yet they never go to the gym. They sleep the 3 hours a night. They say, and God bless them, not passing any judgment here whatsoever, but they say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And that's a philosophy to adopt. And if that's producing the results in your life that you want, then that's fine. Then continue to do that.
then you'll be dead.
And you'll be dead sooner, maybe, but what works for you. So when we take a look at our money as a financial advisor, take
Mhm.
a look at your bank account, take a look at your balance sheet, take a look at your income statement, and so on. Right now, this snapshot, this reflects the results of your financial habits that you've done now for the last day, week, year, 10 years, 20 years. You've been planting seeds with daily activities, and they've all been germinating over this period of time to voila, this is what your money garden looks like. So when people take a snapshot of that and they view and they wonder, gosh, I see where I'm at, and they conclude, I want to be somewhere else. They've identified the gap. That's a trigger and that's a sign. And this is what I like to encourage, say, my clients. This is a sign that it's time to maybe replant some different seeds or plant some more seeds somewhere because we need to be doing the things on a daily basis because that's all that we can control to make our money side of our peace of mind square as strong as possible.
So how do people work with you? I mean, I know they would call you, but why would they what what would they be thinking when they would pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Rick, I need help."
Well, it could be a number of things. Sometimes it's a life event. We just got married, and now how should we handle our money moving forward? Because divorce is is a common problem, and many times money is an issue. But life events such as a marriage, such as a divorce, such as an addition to a family member, or a loss of a family member, or a windfall if someone gets a lottery, or whatever the case may be, when these sudden moments happen, that's a moment to be pressing pause on life and assessing this side of their square to make sure that what they will be doing from this point forward will maintain and support that side of their life so that the other ones can also grow and also flourish. So it's usually a life event that people will come to me or come to a financial advisor when those types of things happen. It could be the change of a job, or a loss of a job, or a new job, or something of that nature too. It could be all sorts of things, but when significant life events happen, that should cause people to pause and say, now's the time. It's like the odometer on my car. It's time for that oil change. Open up the hood, take a look under. It's those life events when you should be taking some energy and placing it on this money side to make sure that all is in good order. And if there are any changes that need to be made, this is a good time to be doing that.
And is there some kind of threshold for um, a money amount that you would need to have in order to start working with you? Is that
Well, for me, no, I accept initial conversations complimentary. I'll do what I can to shine some wisdom in a 15 or perhaps even 30-minute call, but usually that initial call is meant to establish not just giving them a gold nugget of guidance, but also is should there be a reason why we're working together from this call moving forward? If they're looking for a long-term relationship with a financial advisor, which is the best relationship to have, then I want to make sure it's a good fit for me and a good fit for them also. Not everyone, I want to make sure that, say, my shoe size is going to fit their foot, so to speak.
right? And do you have a variety of ways that you work with people? I know I like told you I was a closet crypto trader. Is it more like your traditional stocks, or do you look at different kinds of investment vehicles out there? I
Oh,
know there's like
I'm a
a
broad market person when it
gazillion.
comes to long-term wealth accumulation. I like
Mhm.
to adopt the behavior and philosophy of dull, boring, and unsexy. The more that can be reflected in a person's long-term wealth accumulation, wealth strategy, in my view, the better off that they will be. Because when we begin, it's all about behavior, Jill. This is a very interesting point that I want people to really take this home with. Many people believe that the success of their wealth journey to become financially independent one day is largely due to investment selection and what I should be investing in and what I should be picking and choosing. And ironically, and this may sound surprising, it's not that. That's not to say it's to be ignored. It's important. Don't get me wrong. That part is important. But after that, the big, the big time stuff occurs, and that's your behavior. The actions that you take from that point forward, or that you don't take. When your emotions start to drive the wheel of your wealth journey, that's when problems can really occur. And this is why an independent advisor can really be helpful to keep things dull, boring, unsexy, straight down the middle of the fairway. I cannot make a killing and I cannot get killed. When we induce our human behavior, and I speak for this because I've got behavior too. I'm human just like anyone else, but I know when we start to make knee-jerk decisions with our long-term money just because things are really going bad or really going great, there's the fear, there's the greed, and there's a lot of things in between. People really set themselves back and get into trouble and do actions and make decisions that they severely regret in short order.
I I've seen it a lot. My father-in-law used to love to paper trade, and he was always talking about the emotional aspect of it. For him, it was a game because he really didn't have the resources, and he recognized he didn't have the resources to actually be a day trader. You have to have deep pockets, and I
You have to have a lot of nerves and you have to have a lot of ability to handle a lot of anxiety.
Right. And you can't be emotional if you're trading on signals. It's just like we have AI now, but when he was around, we didn't have
Sure,
AI. So
sure.
you had to execute the trades the way that you were supposed to execute
hmm
them to do whatever the thing was that you were doing. Which is as
For,
much as I got from him.
for those for those who want to do that, that's fine. Not passing any judgment here from my
Mm,
voice to the world. Yet for myself, I like to spend my vacations with the iPad at the hotel room, with my family on the beach. I don't want to worry about how the markets are doing on my phone while I'm having dinner with my wife.
yeah.
I want to have quality time in my life and have a very balanced set of quality time with my life. And when I start to be, I start to feel like I can become a money wizard, then then the market's got a funny way of surprising you every single day.
They really do. And there are so many vehicles out there that you can be boring and just like you just put your money over there and let you
And then live
parcel
life
it
after
out
that.
and go
And
live
then,
your life. You don't have to
yeah,
think about it.
live your life.
So, how do people get in touch with you, Rick?
Well, they can go to my website, which is salmeronfinancial.com, and connect with me on social media. I'm on Instagram, just find my name. I'm on LinkedIn as well. We can connect that way. If you like what I call short, sweet, golden light bulb moments about money, then follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn because I like to post things that make you think about your money in a way that you would never thought before.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us today and telling us a little bit about your investment strategies and how we can just like contact you and have you help us set it up in a way that we don't have to think about it all the time if we don't want to.
Thank you, Jill. It's been my pleasure.
If you have a podcast or you're interested in starting one to get your message in front of a huge and active audience, be sure to reach out to us at support@heartlife.com. We love to help spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches amplify their voice and monetize their mission and offer a variety of ways to do this on the Gnostic TV network platform. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today, get visible.